Welcome to the Buck Stops Here. I'm Barkha Dutt. On the program this evening, while Rahul Gandhi's announcement that he was ready for a larger role was an announcement that was meant to galvanize the Congress, on that same day, another political development has set Delhi abuzz. In fact, it's a sign that the UPA has been thrown into a crisis on the very day that Rahul Gandhi's statement should have galvanized the Congress. It's now an all-out war between the NCP, that's Sharad Pawar's party, and the Congress party. These are developments coming as breaking news. We're bringing you the latest on this political story. Sharad Pawar and Praful Patel have offered to resign from the cabinet. In fact, they skipped the cabinet meeting today. Sharad Pawar is reportedly upset at how the Congress has treated him, at how it's not acknowledged his seniority. Some reports suggest that he's upset that after Pranab Mukherjee's exit, he has not been treated as the number 2 in the union cabinet. But NCP sources say the problems run much deeper than this. They say the Congress does not know how to manage a coalition. They say that the Congress has been taking unilateral decisions, that it's expecting the Nationalist Congress Party to just rubber stamp. So that's the big developing story at this point. We'll be looking, of course, at Rahul Gandhi's decision to take on a larger role later. But the big story at this point, the breaking news story at this point, is that decision by Sharad Pawar and Praful Patel to skip the cabinet, to not attend work tomorrow. That's right, neither minister will be attending work, and NCP sources are emphasizing that this problem runs much deeper than Sharad Pawar being peeved that he has not been acknowledged as the number 2 in the union cabinet after the exit of Pranab Mukherjee. They say it is essentially about the unilateralism and the arrogance of the Congress party. We're joined now by my colleague Sandeep Hukan, who first broke that story. Sandeep, as you and I have been talking, we've both been dialing the phone to sources in the NCP. Officially on record, they're saying, no, we haven't offered to resign. The media's making too much of it. But unofficially, they're letting it be known a few things. They're not going to be going to work tomorrow. They're saying that this involves many multiple issues, not just the rank of Sharad Pawar's number 2 or number 3, or whether he gets membership in the Cabinet Committee on Security. They're saying it's about the unilateralism of the Congress party. What are you picking up?
Absolutely, Barkha. In fact, as you know, that after we broke that story, that the first, actually, this is possibly the icing on the cake. This was building up, the tension was building up. We've seen in the past that, and in the immediate past, we saw the day when UPA meeting, this is very interesting, Barkha, the day UPA meeting was supposed to nominate and announce Vice President Ansari's name, somebody whose name was actually initially taken by Sharad Pawar himself. The NCP stayed away. What we understand is that NCP was supposed to have been represented by Mr. Praful Patel. He was almost about to take a flight when they decided, no, we shouldn't take that flight. We shouldn't make our presence felt. Let the Congress take this decision without us, as they do with so many other cases. So why should we bother even if they announce the vice presidential candidate today? They stayed away. After that, the Congress did take care to assuage some of their hurt feelings. Yesterday, for example, Barkha, there was a power lunch hosted by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, where Sharad Pawar did sit on the same table as Mrs. Gandhi, but quite clearly things were not all right. And that was evident when both of them chose to stay away from the cabinet meeting. In fact, as for my information, sources say, and I repeat, there is no official confirmation, but sources say that they have actually resigned. They have actually sent in their resignation. Remember, Barkha, there has been no categorical denial from the NCP. The NCP spokesperson whom I interviewed for the 9 o'clock bulletin only said that he is not aware. That's quite different from
Sandeep,
somebody
I must
saying,
share with you. I must share with you that I did try and speak with Sharad Pawar, and I spoke to him briefly. And when I asked him about the resignation, he said no comment. It wasn't a denial; it was a no comment.
No, certainly not. If it was a denial, they would have said that they would have probably said that, we wouldn't want to, we categorically deny that this is a media fiction, as they love to say that everything is fiction created by media. So politicians would have said that this is another fiction created by the media. No, the fact that they didn't deny or no comment is another way of saying, well, there are problems, but we'll sort it out. What the NCP expects is that they probably want to put pressure on the Congress, want the Prime Minister or the Congress leadership, Congress President, to talk to them. And they have many issues, Barkha. In fact, you're right. The NCP sources that I have been speaking to said that leave alone the number 2. We're not really bothered about number 2 or number 1. What we are bothered about is that we are never taken on board. Yeah. No alliance partner can even nominate. For example, the person I was speaking to told me, gave an example that there are 12 nominees that are chosen by the government as nominated members of the Rajya Sabha. Not one member would have been chosen by the allies. There's no consultation or there's no...
In fact, Sandeep, exactly, because one of the sources I was speaking to, a senior NCP leader turned around and said that now even the deputy chairman is somebody that they'll choose and then they'll inform us and they just expect us to rubber stamp their decisions. That's the phrase that was used.
That's something, exactly. That's something that they are not willing to take anymore. At least they want to put pressure. I mean, I wouldn't know, Barkha, that remember Sharad Pawar is a very, very clever politician, shrewd politician. He knows that the image of this government is also not great. I don't know if this is the first step towards distancing the NCP from the UPA in the run-up to 2014. Who knows? You remember those mixed signals that we got in the run-up to 2009?
But you know, Sandeep, I remember something very interesting, and I want to go to senior journalist Sujata Anandan joining us from Mumbai tonight, somebody who has observed Maharashtra politics for a really long time. And Sujata, I remember that in the last general election, which is what Sandeep is talking about, Sharad Pawar started giving these mixed messages, and he started getting in touch with leaders of the left. He started getting in touch with Naveen Patnaik. And I remember at that time asking Pranab Mukherjee about it, and Pranab Mukherjee said, well, Sharad Pawar always does this. This time when Pranab Mukherjee was asked, will Sharad Pawar get to be the number 2 now that you've gone? Pranab Mukherjee was not too kind. He said there are many other intellectual leaders in the Congress, but the NCP is stressing this is not just about being number 2. This is not just about sitting next to the Prime Minister. This is about the unilateralism of the Congress. The cynics would say the unilateralism of the Congress has been around for a while. Why now? Is it because there's a cabinet reshuffle coming up? Sujata, what's your reading? How serious is this?
Yes. I would think it is because of the cabinet reshuffle, and even if it is not about number 2, although Pawar has a great sense of his own self and he feels he's amongst the most senior persons, he ought to know that that he cannot be declared as an official number 2, because in the absence of the Prime Minister, when the Prime Minister is travelling abroad, etc., the government cannot be handed over to an ally, frankly speaking. You have to have a congressman in the number 2 position. But in the event of a reshuffle, Sharad Pawar has always wanted, even during UPA 1, he wanted either the Home Ministry, Defence, Finance, one of these heavyweight ministries, and I know as a matter of fact from my sources that he tried very desperately for those heavyweight departments. But that time there was Pranab Mukherjee, there was even Arjun Singh in UPA 1, and there was no chance they would have accommodated Sharad Pawar in these departments. Now, amid reports that P. Chidambaram could be shifted to finance, Sharad Pawar would hold out for home or defence if Antony is being shifted to another department. And I think it is more about this, getting a heavyweight department, than actually getting the number 2 position, because he has been a congressman. He knows that no ally can be handed that position.
But Sujata, to be fair to Sharad Pawar and to be fair to the NCP is saying that this business about Sharad Pawar being upset about the number 2 position is a Congress spin. They're saying this is Congress planting this on the media. Sharad Pawar is actually upset because the NCP is not taken on board when key decisions are taken.
No, that might be a practice by the Congress, but Sharad Pawar is a congressman and he knows how the Congress acts. It is not new. This is not new. And he was like a lamp throughout the presidential campaign and throughout the time that they were deciding who the president and vice president would be. And everybody thought that he's the ally who gives the least amount of trouble to the Congress, but actually he's an ally who gives the most amount of trouble to the Congress. And why I think this is just brinkmanship and holding out for more is because, unlike Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, or unlike the DMK in Tamil Nadu, it is not possible for Sharad Pawar to sweep elections in Maharashtra without the Congress support. You know, the thing is, even with the Congress support, he won only 8 seats, 8 MPs he has from Maharashtra, and one is Mr. Sangma's daughter. So he has 9 MPs, and from his own, what we call the Gad, from his own fortress of Western Maharashtra, he contested 9 seats. The Congress contested 3. The Congress won all 3, and the NCP won only 3. That of his daughter, and that of a descendant of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So a common man could not win any election from even Sharad Pawar's fortress.
So Sujata,
so
you're
he can't do
cynically,
without the Congress, really.
He can't do without the Congress. So you're cynically linking this to a kind of bargaining and brinkmanship for a cabinet reshuffle that everybody is expecting in the next few weeks. Sandeep, very briefly before we move on to the other big political development, there is some ambiguity over whether letters of resignation have been sent or letters of grievances have been sent by Sharad Pawar and Praful Patel. Quickly, what do you know?
You know, I have to report this story with a little bit of caution because I don't have a confirmation from the other side. But what I hear from NCP sources that yes, a letter was drafted. It was sent at about 5:30 to the Prime Minister's office. Thereafter, it seems that there was a phone call. There was a phone call from the Prime Minister. Prime Minister spoke with Pawar. The letter has been sent from the NCP offering to resign, or rather tendering their resignation, both the ministers. But as I said, Barkha, that officially when I asked the NCP to react, they said, I have no information. We have no information. We don't know where did you get this news from. And you'll have to ask the Prime Minister's office. And there's been no confirmation or denial so far from the Prime Minister's office.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.